welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the semifinals of the Fire Cup number 4. Oh my god, I do apologize for the extended break, but we have returned. Alas, one of our players was suffering from a power outage, but the power has returned and we can continue the broadcast. We can continue the tournament. No walkovers were required, no rescheduling, nothing of the sort. We can jump into our fresh best of 5. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Oceanborn, we have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing himself, currently teamless. It is YoungYakov. He's young again. And if you're in the chat, predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will take the series. Will it be our Zerg player or our Terran? It is up to you to decide. Oh boy, so best of luck. Also, as a reminder, the winner of the series goes up against Wayne in a best of 7. Best of 7 finals. Wayne is lying in wait. He has time to rest, time to recuperate, and time to get ready for that final matchup. Oh boy. We, of course, here to determine who will make it to those finals. We're here. Oh, the light is back. Do you think that's 100% intentional, right? Let's go, papi. Ay. The power is back on. It has returned. The light. Let's go. It's always here. It's always on. Beautiful. That has to be intentional. Regardless, do have our Rax expand here from our Terran. Is going to be a Rax expand opener. Saying this stuff here so far out of Nicoract, but this is also where I have to talk about Nicoract himself. When it comes to this matchup, Nicoract is hyper aggressive. We've seen him against players like YoungYakov, like GG Machine, and Nicoract, he's just constantly been in the face, even Eba last night as well. Nicoract, he does embrace 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins, just hyper aggression in the TVZ matchup, and we'll see if YoungYakov can keep up. He was able to do so in the group stage, but you know, maybe Nicoract, he will be taking a different approach this time. It is possible. May take a different approach. As the Reaper has arrived, dipping into the natural. Will threaten the mineral line, but so far, YoungYakov, he does maintain himself. Pulls back the weakened Ling. Ooh, did invest into 6 Lings, actually. Bigger investment here by YoungYakov. Does mean it's going to be down 1 extra drone. Queen has arrived, and the Reaper is going to be forced back. So far, so good. Yakov does hold up. Oh my god, the tumor goes down. Very nice pick off here out of Nicoract. Takes down the tumor, takes down the Ling. And Nicoract pulls back. So very nice value so far. Also, I didn't get to talk about it, but if you were here last night for the group stage of this event, you would know that last night YoungYakov was not YoungYakov, he was old Yakov. Smooch. He was old Yakov, but he's young again. He's spry. Beautiful. Beautiful. He's full of hope. He's full of happiness and joy. That's what happens when the light comes back. Regardless, we are settling in. YoungYakov holding on to his third. It does get it up and running. Likewise, Nicoract going to be reinforcing with extra Hellions behind this. Oh my god, it is going to be a 1-1-1. And remember earlier I spoke about how Nicoract, he does often all-in. He often all-ins against Zerg players. He's often hyper-aggressive. And what do we see here? We have Reactored Hellion. We have Marauders, and I would imagine an Armory. An Armory is going to be thrown down for what? For a Hellbat Marauder push. Oh boy. So very committed play here by Nicoract. Still no third CC, so hyper committed, borderline all in. Link Scout comes in. What does YoungYakov see? He does get eyes on the Rax. Doesn't see much else though. Does have incomplete information. Spinecrawler's on the way. Roachborn as well. YoungYakov, he knows. He might have seen the Marauder. If he saw the Marauder, that would have been enough. That would have been a tell. Roach Productions on the horizon. There's the Armory for the Hellbats. It's all or nothing for Nicoract. Hellions are amassing. A Liberator behind this. Okay, I assumed it was going to be another Medevac, but no, it's going to be Liberator alongside the Medevac to support. There's going to be, of course, micro potential here with the Medevac as well. Save units. And how many Hellions? 8. 8 Hellions. 3 Marauders. 1 Medevac. 1 Liberator. And a Dream. The army is spotted. Meanwhile, Roach Warren is done. Roach production has begun. YoungYakov, he joined up to 47. 7 roaches, 6 queens. He's ready. He is ready for this. The Hellbats are revealed. Yakov is prepared. Notice get dropped in, going for the first queen. Roaches, they arrive just in time. They go straight for those Hellbats. One queen does go down. Spinecore a little bit too far back, but does come into play. And yeah, Yakov is fine. He is perfectly fine. He's even droning in the middle of this defense. That's how confident he is. He's droning up, takes down all the Hellbats. Looking at the assault tab before Roach kills. The queens actually survived a clutch transfuse. And Yakov is all over this. Behind this, when you see Nicoract, he throws down 2 more Raxes. Still no third CC. Still 2 base all in. Now, at least the Marauder survived. You can see here that Nicoract, he's threatening a drop towards the natural. Queens are trying to keep up. One of the E-bays or Evo chambers is delayed. Oh, that's even a kill, not a cancel. Well, not bad. Kills Neva chamber. Liberator into the main. 4 drones in total have gone down. 3 at the hands of this lib. But that is still not good enough.
Game paused.
As we have a bit of a pause, and hopefully everything's okay. As again, YoungYakov did have some electricity issues earlier. Okay, there we go. We are fine.
Game resumed.
As Nicoract, he's going to be dropping out the 4th. Will delay the 4th base as well. Not bad. I mean, Nicoract, he's getting some nice value here and there. Picking off a couple of workers, picking off and delaying some of the upgrades, delaying some of the expansions. This is nice, but ideally, Nicoract, he needs more. Because Yakov is fully saturated on 3 bases. And behind this, 1-1 is on the way. Tank production, more Marines. Again, it is still a 2-base all-in. It's just the next round, the next step, the next stage. There are layers to this build here from Nicoract. Was that a kill? Okay, cancel. That was a cancel. Jesus. It scared me for a moment. Overseer does confirm. The Overseer saw the add-ons, saw the upgrades, saw the production. Yakov knows not to overdrone. He knows that at most he wants to get up to around 3-base saturation, 66 drones at most. 70 is cutting it close. I would be opposed to getting up to 70 workers. Right now it's all about Roach Ravager. And here comes the push. Here comes the all-in. Now, there is a 3rd CC that just started up, but this is a very late 3rd. This army needs to trade well. It needs to kill a base, even. We'll see if he can. Roach is getting caught on the low ground. Oh my god. Rough positioning here for Yakov. Trying to force his way up the ramp. Tank shots going off. Yeah, very nice start here for Nicoract. Massive tank blows. The Roaches, they melt. But there's still too much coming in from behind. There's still 1 tank left. And that fight was maybe the best fight that Nicoract could have hoped for. How many Roaches did he kill? 27. 27 Roaches, 1 Ravager for 1 tank and Marines. Again, just YoungYakov in a really awkward position. Down the ramp, forced to push up into a concave. A very efficient fight by Nicoract. Still not yet done. Still threatening a push. 2nd tank has arrived. Stims in, dives on the Roaches. Whilst they do not quite take down the tank. That last pile was misplaced. Nicoract gaining ground. Freedom has arrived. Yes, Freedom. Tank's a little bit too far back. Take a couple of shots off. Behind this, Nicoract now landing his 3rd. But he still needs to trade better. He still needs more value here. Whilst they take down the libs. Ooh, not quite. The Liberators, they survived. Once again, the Wilds were a little bit misplaced. The Freedom is still here. It keeps going, man. It keeps going. Oh, 1 lib falls. Tanks are pushing forward. Yakov again, he's struggling to hold on here. But Nicoract, he's running out of Marines. Runs out of fire. The tanks are exposed. Without that buffer, the tanks are finally going down. This wasn't the cleanest of defenses. It was actually quite brutal. But Yakov holds, and he saves the 4th. The 4th base is up, can now be saturated, more Roaches are amassing. Looking at the unit tab again, these were very efficient fights for Nicoract. Out-trading Yakov very nicely. And back at home, he's getting up to his 56 worker counts. More production, more Raxes, 2-2 almost done. Now Yakov, was this enough damage is kind of the question here. Yakov, his supply is inflated. True, it is inflated supply because of the Roaches, but what I will say is that without all those tanks, upon losing them, it means that if Yakov ever moves out, there's not that much here to defend. there's an okay bio army, but there's only one tank so far. Second tank's on the way. Nicoract, he's still looking very vulnerable to a counterattack from the Zerg. This is also why Nicoract needs to be active. He needs to make sure that Yakov stays at home. Because if Yakov moves out, that's where I'm concerned for the Terran. Yakov trying to keep up with the drop play. Is going for a Roach counterattack. There is an army at home to defend, but Nicoract, he does unsiege. Oh. He unsieges and Roaches, they hit the third. Oh, and there's nothing here. Boys forced to be pulled away. None of them go down. Nice catch here by Nicoract. Shaves off a good amount of Roaches. 3-3s on the horizon. I mean, these upgrades are solid. I mean, does have a very nice upgrade lead. I mean, that helps. That is as to why Nicoract has been trading so well. Is part of that is the upgrades. But now Yakov, he's on 4 base saturation. He's up to 72 workers. Nicoract pushing forward, gaining ground. Yakov trying to get another base up and running, getting a 5th. Bailing's now coming into the mix. Now it's not just Roach Ravagers. Roach Ravager link Bane. Bailing's speed is halfway done. And Infestors are on the way as well for those fungal growths. YoungYakov, he's maxed out. Nicoract, he's still not quite there yet. He's going to be dropping in. Likewise, secondary army pushing towards the left-hand side. Yakov trying to split up. Bailing's speed not yet ready. The tanks are late to siege. And the tanks are caught out. Massive fungal as well. The fungal, the Miles. Oh my god. The Miles, they take down the medevac. The tanks fall. And Nicoract, he's racing back home at the same time. Triple drop here into the third. Workers are going down. 5 drone kills. 5 drones. A queen. A couple of roaches as well. Medevac's taking a lot of damage. Get the hell out of here. But you can see the disparity in supply. At one point, Yakov was up 40 supply. Now, well, up 10. The army supplies are closing. The gap is closing, I should say. And even then, I would say actually that Nicoract has a larger army. The soup does lie when Roach Ravager's involved. So Nicoract, he has some momentum. He's going for the base. Well, at the same time, though, reinforcements getting caught out. Lings, they come in from behind. They're getting on top of the tanks. One tank goes down, the other as well. To the piles. Yeah, just a really awkward engagement from Nicoract. At the same time, triple drop into the main. Fungal connects. Where's the follow-up? Yeah, it's not enough. Oh, actually, Nicoract, he could have kept going. He could have kept, yeah, he could have kept pushing here. Regardless, he will kill the 5th. 5th hatchery goes down. Main base is a little bit exposed. And the supplies are evening up. Meanwhile, the main base, it floats over as the 4th. Nicoract trying to maintain his economy, his production. Double drop into the natural, triple drop into the main. Yakov getting pulled apart here. I mean, Roach Ravager is a very mobile army. Oh. And he's going for the kill. He's going for the 4th. He wants it. Yakov's ready, though. Yakov, he's here for it. Not enough room. Tank goes down. Massive pick off. Drop dives back in. Takes out the gases. Gets 5 drones. And despite the failed all-ins, Nicoract, he's bringing it back. He's doing it. He's just dragging YoungYakov apart. Takes down the infestation pit. No more infestors. No more fungals. Drop on the right-hand side. Gets cleaned up. Nicoract forced back. His 4th base is getting saturated. And for the first time in a long time, who takes the supply lead? Nicoract. Nicoract takes that supply lead. Ay, ay, ay. 11 drone kills. He's still going. He's not stopping. Oh, the Biles. Oh. Ooh, brutal connections. Medevacs go down. Yeah, Nicoract otherwise paying attention elsewhere, focusing on other drops. 17 drone kills. And again, he still wants that 4th. He's been wanting it for so long. He wants that 4th base. Yakov, initially he had a good start, but we mentioned earlier he had a rough fight pushing up the ramp. That was the beginning of the comeback for Nicoract. Base connect. Nice splits here from Nicoract. He pulls away. 21 drone kills. Going for the 5th. Threatening another push. Reinforcements are moving out. Yakov, he's trying to recover, but it may just be too late at this point. He's down to 37 drones. Yakov has a bit of a bank to work with, but... and he's running out of steam. Nice bios. Sorry, nice fumbles, I should say. Drop towards the natural. Nicoract pushing in. And GG gets called. It just becomes too much, and Nicoract takes game 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. And Nicoract, again, was hyper aggressive. He went first for the Hellbat push, then followed it up with a 2-base bio tank all-in. And again, it all started with some rough fights. Yakov, he had some really, really rough engagements despite the initial hold. I will say that it was a better start for Yakov after defending against the Hellbat push, but it was a second all-in that really traded insanely well. We mentioned, but Yakov, he was caught out of position. He was caught with his pants down. His army was on the low ground. He was pushing up a ramp into a concave, and he lost every single roach. Likewise, as is also being pointed out, as we pointed out as well, some of the bars were lackluster, right? We had, as he was trying to engage with that tank-based army in the aftermath, even the Liberators as well, we saw that a lot of bars were missing where they otherwise should have, because that tanks and Liberators survived longer than they should have as well, and that led to Nicoract being even more efficient with his army, and with that he was able to claw his way back in. Likewise, the multi-pronged aggression was too much to handle as well. So just some intense play there by Nicoract, despite things being very much so against him. He clawed his way back in. GG, well played. Very well done here. Nicoract takes game 1, and now we're getting ready for game 2. Now, when it comes to, as the players are asking for a bit of a break, players are asking for a moment, but when it comes to this playstyle, as I stand by it, as I mentioned at the start of game 1, which led into the all-in play, Nicoract is hyper-aggressive in this matchup. Expect to see more 2-base all-ins. More 2-base all-ins, 3-base all-ins, 8 Raxes. This is what we expect from Nicoract. And I mean, for good reason. He's good at it. We see that even sometimes when he fails in these initial pushes, in these initial aggressions, he's still able to recover from that anyway. Oh boy. So we'll keep an eye on Nicoract to see what aggression we see here in game 2. Likewise, we'll see how YoungYakov adjusts his play as well. Does have to tighten up here. I don't want to harp on it too much, but we did see some, again, lackluster Ravager control from Yakov, which he was punished for. Clearly against Nicoract, you cannot make those mistakes. Cannot make those mistakes, otherwise he will get out of hand and out of control. So we need to tighten things up, Pappy. As we're getting into game 2 and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Crimson Court, we have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes, leading the series 1-0. It is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the blue Zerg player representing himself. Currently team is down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can make a series out of this. It is YoungYakov. Go. As Yakov is setting up. Going hatch first. Likewise, Nicoract back at home going for a Rax expand setup here. So far so good. Standard openers. Hatch gas pull out of one, Rax expand out of the other, but we'll keep an eye on Nicoract here to see if he does open up 1-1-1 once again. Nicoract, he often does go for a very delayed third base. Very delayed. Is his go-to. From there, he can go into a more committed Hellion Banshee build. He can go into BC production. He's got options. Does have options. No apple juice? No, Shameless has the juice. True, true. He's juiced, man. Oh. As the Overlord does dip in, getting a scatter. Let's get a scout up at the natural. Just again, ensuring that everything's looking as it should. We see YoungYakov already mining through the minerals here on the right-hand side. So it looks like Yakov, he's looking to try to sneak out a third base here. A very safe third location. Safe against Hellion aggression at least. Less so against airbase units like Banshees. Like Draw Play. Reaper does get 2 lane kills, but it's worth it as the drone survives and the third base has been placed. So the third is on the way. Queen has arrived. And Yakov defends. Did cost him 2 lings, but doesn't lose any workers. Does hold. Meanwhile, oh my... Okay, Nicoract, you have my attention. This is an opener that I was not expecting. That is a third CC before Starport. I'll have to eat my words. If you remember, I was expecting a late third base and a 1-1-1. That is what I was expecting, but no, instead we see something very different. This is an economic opener. Economic start here into what looks to be a 1-1-1 into Banshee play. Now, because the opener is economic, I'm still leaning towards potentially a 3-base all-in. I'm leaning towards an 8 racks. We have seen Nicoract embrace 8 racks many a time in the past, and I can definitely see that working here on Crimson Court as well. So my eyes are on Nicoract when it comes to how many racks he throws down and whether or not he takes his gases at the third. That's going to be the big tell. Does he take his gases? Does he commit into extra racks, of course? Where does this lead? There's the add-on swap. It is going to be 3cc Banshee here from Nicoract. Banshees are on the way. Oh, threatens the Creep Tumor. Does get one. Creep Tumor goes down. Likewise, Yakov going for a Link Scouts. He's going to be shut down by the Hellions. Safety Bailing Nest is on the way. 4-minute Bailing Nest here, so Yakov, he's a little bit terrified of potentially something more aggressive. So very safe response here by Yakov. Because of that, his lair is going to be a little bit later. His upgrade is going to be a little bit later as well, as I believe he should be going lair, then into double Evo chamber. So Yakov playing safe while Nicoract plays economically. And I mean, to be fair, Yakov doesn't know. He has not seen the main base. Yakov's playing blind. Hellions do rock up. Oh, they do bypass the Queens. They just rush in, but there are Lings here to punish. And Nicoract this time was not worth it. Yeah, the Lings, they get a surround. They shut down the Hellions. And Nicoract, he was baited in. He thought there was an opening. He thought that his opponent was being too greedy. And really... the bait was real, and Nicoract, he gets punished. Does get punished for it. Banshee into the main. But ideally, there'd be Hellions threatening a base, and then the Banshee comes in while the Zerg player is distracted. Rough follow-up here from Nicoract. He has lost map control, and that means Yakov can drone. That means he's free to just drone his heart out, saturate his bases. 4th base is on the way. Extra racks are being thrown down. This is so far a 5-rack setup, which is pretty normal on 3 bases, but I'm waiting for 3 more Raxes. I'm waiting for 3 more Raxes here. We'll see. As Banshees, they do deny the 4th. Very nice. 4th base is denied. Yakov expanding elsewhere. Double expanding, actually. Going for the center base and going for the triangular 3rd. So Yakov does double expand. Upgrades are on the way. Nicoract building up. Oh, is taking gases. Okay. Okay. Yo, we macroing? I'm ready. Gases are being taken. Overseer goes for the scouts. Does get eyes on one of the gas geysers. The Overseer is going to be hunted down just barely. Whew. And from here, Nicoract is building up. Now, something about Crimson Court that I should emphasize as well, that I wasn't going to because of Nicoract's playstyle, but now I have to, is that this map is very good for turtling. And there it is. 4th CC is on the way. Nicoract, he's macroing up. And it is very difficult actually to break a player on a 3 and 4 base setup here, just because of how difficult it is to actually get into these avenues of attack. I'm referring to these fringe bases. So we have actually seen a lot of late game on Crimson Court. Oh, no. The wall! The wall's not a wall. Lings, they flood in. Hero! Lings, they get into the natural. SCV's going to be going down. Ay, ay, ay. I believe a tank falls as well. Doesn't get too out of hand, though. Nicoract, good crisis management. Does pull away in time. Oh, my God. But the Bailings! Bailings, they crush into the third. 24 SCVs go down before we can embrace the fourth base. Yakov, he pops off. He does distract Nicoract, and with that, the economy has been crippled. I was praising Nicoract. I was about to say, yo, if we can get up to 4 bases, we can secure ourselves, we can max out, we can head into the late game, but that is not going to happen. Not yet. As Nicoract, he is crippled. And he has some recovering to do. Meanwhile, Yakov getting ready for another run by. Nicoract pushing through the center. Wall is open once again. Now, I just appreciate that Hero has some Terran fans. It's good. It's as things they bust into the third once again. 11 SCV kills. Nicoract out of position. The main army comes in from right hand side, catching out these tanks. Yeah, 1, 2 tanks going down. Brutal pickups. And Yakov, he commits even more. Dives on the army. Connections here on the Marines. Hydra's back up. And all that Yakov has to do is just build up, max out. So I say max out, just rebuilding vein. GG gets called as Yakov takes game number 2 and ties things up 1-1. GG. GG, well played. I feel a little bit robbed. I was deprived of a macro game between Nicoract and Yakov. We were getting there. I mean, again, Yakov, he took an extra gas geyser. He was going for a 4th CC. He was building up towards a longer, later game. But just before we got there, just before Nicoract could embrace that, the Link run by, the Bailink run by as well, he was pulled apart, his attention was split, and Yakov popped off. End of the game before we could really embrace a late game. GG. GG, well played. Nicoract caught with his pants down. He was caught with his pants down, and Yakov took full advantage of that, and now we're getting into Game 3. Now, as a reminder, best of 5 is a best of 5. We still have more games ahead of us. But alas, the pressure is on, and this could still go either way. We are going to be loading into Alcyone. Alcyone is known for 8-raxing, so now that I think about it, if Nicoract is willing to play the map, if he's willing to play macro on Crimson Court, I'd be willing to bet that he's willing to 8-rax on Alcyone as well. So we'll see. We shall see. As we are loading into game number 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alcyone, we have the red Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes being forced into a tied series. We'll see if we can bring it back. It is Nicoract. It's 1.21 gigawatts. Let's go. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Zerg player representing himself, tying up the series 1-1, making a series out of this. It is YoungYakov. We go. Because we are going to be settling in. So far, the openers should be looking standard. We do see the racks on the high ground, so no crazy 2-racks Reaper opener here out of Nicoract. Yakov, of course, is rallying across the scout to confirm that there is no heavy Reaper aggression. Clearly, he sabotaged himself to prevent a macro game. True. It's all a part of the master plan. Really, Nicoract, he's just trying to lure YoungYakov into a false sense of security. He's like, oh no, you stopped me from macroing. Clearly that's what I want to do. And then bam! 1 base all in. Oh no. Not like this. As the overlords are moving out, Yakov is looking for a proxy. Does check here on the left-hand side initially, making sure there is no proxy setup before turning back around. As Nicoract, he's getting his CC on the low ground. SCV scout across the map. From here, we can settle in. I guess our eyes are really going to be on Nicoract when it comes to his starport, whether he goes factory into starport or factory into 3rd CC. Is going to be the first sign of aggression or not. Yakov making an extra wave of lings. Interesting. I believe up to 6. Yeah, 6 lings. Reaper does arrive, dancing with the army. Oh. Nice control here by YoungYakov. Oh, but the first ling does go down. Nice pickup. Nicoract gets 1 ling, pulls away. Reaper is getting quite low. Oh. Playing with fire. Oh my god. He wants that tumor, but this time he will not get it. The Reaper's a little bit too low, and we have confirmation that is a 3rd CC before the starport economic opener once again. Very similar to what we saw in Game 2. Now, if you remember, in Game 2, the follow-up here was a starport into Banshee, into Hellions, and Nicoract, he went for a Hellion dive, he got punished for it. The Hellions were completely cleaned up, and he lost map control as a result. This time we'll see if Nicoract is a little bit more careful, a little bit more attentive here with his Hellions, and, you know, doesn't get baited in, takes a more passive, more kind of a safe approach here with those Hellions. Doesn't take as many risks. We'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, once again, as the opener is economic, the follow-up yet to be determined. I said before that Alkione, this map is known for 8 Raxes. It's known for being very strong for 8 Raxes as well. For those who are curious, an 8 Rax is a 3 base all-in. The signs of it, of course, is that you don't take your gases, you don't get a 4 CC. Instead of the 4 CC, you throw down 3 extra Raxes instead, and you just make Mass Marine. Mass Marine with 1-1 and then 2-2 upgrades. It can hit very hard, especially if a Zerg player takes too much or drones too much. Meanwhile, Yakov opening up roaches. Okay. There's going to be a roach one here for Yakov. Very safe approach here from the Zerg player. This safe approach can also turn aggressive as well, bear that in mind. So we'll keep an eye on the drone count of YoungYakov, because he might be the aggressor himself. He might just cut workers at 60 and then just go for a Roach Ravager all in. It is possible. But now though, Cloak Banshees are on the way. Yakov has yet to really scatter across the map. He did see the Hellions though, so he should be aware of the potential of Banshee. This Banshee has arrived. Back at home, yep, spores are on the way. We have 1 spore in each mineral line. So Yakov playing it safe. Hellions moving out as well. Ideally, you don't want to hit one base with the Banshees, the other base with the Hellions, and try to split apart the attention of the Zerg. But now though, he's poking in. Rotating around. Banshee has yet to pull the trigger. Right, rotating. Jeez, that's a lot of Raxes, by the way. Getting up to 5. He's getting to his 5 Rax setup. Lings move out for a counterattack with their Hellions back at home this time. Banshees don't get much damage, but neither do all these Lings. Lings and Roaches. So Yakov, he is rotating, is trying to find a way in. Gets a Hellion. And so far, Nicoract, he is keeping up, shuts down the Lings. The Roaches are a little bit of a different problem, though. They do pick up some SCVs. A nice pick up by Yakov. Nicoract has to pull the boys. Tries to repair. Debo goes down. The army does flood in, but the Banshees, they race back home, and this will clean up the army. Now, this does force the army back, so the Hellion Banshee was stuck at home. Likewise, gets 4 SCV kills. Not a bad trade here for Yakov, but I'm sure he was hoping for a little bit more. As back at home, he's just saturating and expanding. 4th base is on the way. Nicoract building up. He's still in that 5 rack setup. And we do see Yakov coming in for a scout. He will get eyes into the main. And again, it is important here for Yakov to counter Raxes and to make sure that nothing crazy is going on. So we does see the setup. Does confirm lack of 4th. Not yet, at least. And back at home, we do see Yakov teching. Does have Hydrogen on the way. Infestation is on the way as well. Getting ready for Hive Tech. As the Overseer is poised to go back in for a rescout. Gases are being taken. 4th CC on the way. Okay, Nicoract, he's macroing. He's getting into a 4th base. This is very similar to the build overall. It's very similar to what we just saw on Crimson Court. But this time, Nicoract, he doesn't lose any SCVs back at home. He can focus on his army. He can focus on his push. Knocks down the Rucks. Roaches it down with the tanks. One tank goes down. Ooh, that brutal pick off. The other tank's on the siege. He's going to commit. The Vials, they come in. Another tank falls. And Yakov, he completely shuts down the push. Nicoract, he has to race back. And again, he's taking up. Taking both gases, getting a 4th CC, 2nd factory as well. But he has lost map control. And you know what that means? That means that YoungYakov, he's free to drone up to 85. He's free to drone up. He drones up to 86. Even more drones on the way. Very greedy here by Yakov. But after shutting down the first army, I mean, there's nothing to threaten him. There is no threat to Yakov. There is a double drop, but Yakov, he can just keep up with this. He's spreading creep. He's taking. Hive is on the way. Lurker Den is on the way. Yakov, he's going to be free to max out and get into lurkers. And again, that's all just based on the fact that the army was shut down and Nicoract is macroing. So there's just no real danger here for Yakov. Getting into 2-2. Hydra upgrades as well. Spreading creep. At this point, he can go for the gold. Can go for the gold base. And tell Nicoract here to be as active as possible to keep the creep in check. And gets a couple of active tumors. Takes out an Overlord. Backs off. Nicely done. Does gain some value. Ghost Academy's on the way. And Nicoract, he's building up. He is building up. Meanwhile, here comes the Lurker production. Vipers as well. Yakov embracing that Hive Tech army. Nicoract is moving out, and can he make something happen here? The Lurkers are not quite ready yet. I mean, there are Lurkers, but these are Lair Tech Lurkers. The Hive upgrades are still on the horizon. More Lurkers are morphing in. Now, what's really risky about what Yakov is doing is that he has no Banelings, of course. No Bailey Nest. So he is vulnerable to bio before Lurkers arrive, but the Lurkers are here. Lurkers are ready. Nicoract, he does find a flanking army. Harassing force. Shut down most of those roaches. Nidus Worm on the way. Let's go. As Nicoract, he's maxed. He's maxed out. He is secure. Getting to Liberators, getting to Ghost production. Both players are getting to their final forms. I do think that Yakov could have expanded faster. I mentioned before, but he could have gone for the goal base, could have even double expanded as well, or could have spread even more creep because of that. I do think that Yakov is playing a little bit more carefully. He's not taking that many chances. Meanwhile, here towards the left-hand side, the armies do run into each other. Yakov just spreading more creep, engulfing the entire map. Does get a tank. One gets a Liberator as well. Even yoinks a Ghost. Yeah, very nice abductions here from YoungYakov. Gets another Liberator. That's a kill, not a cancel on the CC. Oh, good. This could be a kill. Lurker's getting within range. Oh my god, massive spine shots going off, and Yakov is going for the kill. He's going right down the middle. Nicoract was max, but he wasn't quite ready for this. Wasn't quite in position. It's going to be another kill on another CC. GG gets called, and Yakov, he just goes for the throws. He shuts him down. Yakov takes a 2-1 lead. Ooh, GG. GG, well played. Very decisive play there by Yakov. Once again, as soon as Yakov secured map control, I mean, it was a little bit different compared to the last game that we saw. But in this game, Yakov, once he secured map control, he was so greedy. Remember, he droned up to, it wasn't even 86, it was around 88, around 88 drones. He droned up very heavily, took his bases, teched up into Hive Tech, and then he rushed into that lurker-based army. And once he got into the lurkers, he just went for the kill. He went straight for the throat. Nicoract, he just wasn't quite able to reach his final form. He was getting there. Nicoract, he was almost able to secure himself on 4 bases and almost able to get a maxed out ideal, or maybe not ideal, but maxed out army. Alas, didn't quite get there in the end. The lurkers, they were able to bust in just in time. The lurkers, the vipers. And Nicoract just wasn't ready for it. Wasn't ready. And a big reason for that, a big reason why that lurker timing hit so quickly and so hard is because of the failed push earlier from Nicoract. It all just kind of snowballed from there. And now we're getting into our next game. Yakov needs one more to be our champion or to advance onto the grand finals. Meanwhile, Nicoract, he has to fight back here and now to tie things up. To tie things up and to force the ace match. I'm hoping we can get there, but the pressure is on the Terran. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Post Youth, we have the red Terran player. Down in the series, 1-2. Onomaso, one more game is all he needs to force that ace match. Representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Nicoract. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, leading the series 2-1. Onomaso, one more game is all he needs to make it to this finals. It is YoungYakov. Here we go. Catching up. Just saw in the chat. Player shipping. Hell yeah. Oh no. Oh no. I will always remember Jack G and Daishi. Yo, that was peak player shipping. Oh, the romance, the bromance between Jack G and Daishi. If you know, you know. This is like back in what? Heart of the Swarm Home Story Cup. Home Story Cup like 2014, 2015. Yo, that was peak. Peak shipping for Daishi and Jack G. Yo, who remembers the SSL? No, was it SSL? No, I think it was the Pro League. Who remembers the Pro League dating series where they made content in between, you know, for the fans, of course, of the players, where they would go on a date and they'd have the cameraman go on a date with like Dark, go on a date with oh god, who was it? With Hurricane as well. Yo. Oh my god. And they had the twist, they had the reveal. I think it was Hurricane. I think it was Hurricane's date where they had the reveal, they flipped the camera, and it was Stork. Stork was on the date. Oh my god. It's crazy. Oh no. The drama. It was beautiful. They're on YouTube somewhere. The Pro League SE2 dating videos. They're out there. Oh. As Reaper gets across the map, will delay the third. Not bad. Not a bad setup here by Nicoract, as he does open up 2x Reaper. My apologies, sorry, I was engrossed thinking about Daishi and Jack G. My mind was elsewhere. But 2x Reaper. 2x Reaper here. Reapers are moving out across the map. The goal of 2x Reaper is to delay the third, and so far successful. Does successfully delay the third base, containing the Zerg player on 2 bases. So far, so good for Nicoract. KDA charges being thrown down. Oh my god, does get a kill. Does kill the drone. And that is all that Nicoract wanted. That is all that they did need. Reapers busting in. So far, Yakov, he does pull the points. Oh, he wants to surround. And he gets one. Barely gets one Reaper, just the one. Nicoract, he gets out of there, spots the new backup third base, once again trying to force a cancel, but he shouldn't be able to. There's plenty of progression. The Queens should be coming out, link speed is almost done, and Yakov should be able to protect that third. KDA charges being thrown down. Another Reaper falls. Nicoract does get the hell out of there. Oh my god, gets cleaned up. But again, he already got the value that he wanted. He did delay the third base quite heavily. And back at home is going 3CC 2-1-1. Now, 3CC 2-1-1 is similar to a regular 2-1-1. A 2-1-1 is 2 Raxes, 1 Factory, 1 Starport, leading into a stim timing with Medivacs with 16 Marines. This does hit later though. Because of the prioritization of this third command center, it means that the Starport and the Factory are delayed. So it is a delayed follow-up here because of the focus on the economy. And because of this, Yakov is free to drone. Yakov, he has more time, he has like an extra minute of droning that he can get away with to saturate his bases and to take an economic lead. Only if he's aware though, only if he's aware of what's going on. He's aware of the potential 2-1-1, he did not see the third CC. Because of this, Yakov may cut workers earlier. But he's not, he's droning. Yakov is droning, he does have an overloading position, he does see the timing of stim. So Yakov, he knows that he can still get away with more drones with a 4th base. He's being quite greedy here. His response is with a faster bailing nest, actually. Okay, faster bailing nest. For those that don't know, it did happen. Well, for did you link? Oh no! is this the Pro League VOD? Oh, the date. Oh, let's go. That's Hurricane. Ay. They did one for Hurricane. They did one for Dark. Who else did they do one for? I think they did like 3 or 4. They did like 3 or 4 different dating videos. Where it's like POV, like date with your pro gamer, with your favorite pro gamer. It was crazy. Good times, good times. Wait, this is back in like 2014, I want to say. 2014, 2015. Jesus, I can't believe it's been that long. Anyway, let's focus on the game. We have YoungYakov threatening a run by. And this will delay the push. Because of this, the 2-1-1 has to race back home. Queens up the Lings, but this does mean that Yakov has more time to spread creep and mass more Queens, build up Bailings, and get into Bailing speed. So it's all about buying time. Nicoract still stuck at home, getting his third base up and running. Does run into the Lings. Very fortunate here for Nicoract. Does shut the Lings down. But I'm not as behind any shipping between Clem and Max Packs. That's not. I don't know if there are people that do that. I'm not a part of that group. No. Daishi and Jack Gijo, always. Let's manage to do more Finn, collapsing here on the Marines. Oh, so far Nicoract does hold. Does hold on. For the most part, YoungYakov is able to keep up with the drop play, he's able to maintain himself, he's getting his 4th base fully saturated, up to 70 workers, 5th base now on the way as well, getting the gold. Yakov is secure skin, reveals saturation, reveals gases, as Yakov is taking into Hive. Now, something really interesting here is that, if you see what I see, I do not see a Hydroden. No Hydroden, no Spire either, Hive is on the way. This looks like Ling Bane into Ultra. This does look like an Ultra Rush here from Yakov, which can be quite effective. The downside is you have limited anti-air. There's no Hydras or Mutas or Corruptors, so drop play can be difficult to deal with. You have to rely on Vipers for their parasitic bombs. So it does feel like that is going to be the case here for YoungYakov. Nicoract pushing forward, gaining ground. Tanks are sieging up. Yakov has got a lot of Ling Bane to work with, going for a counterattack instead. But the goal base is going to be denied. Does he force Nicoract back home? Gets a tank. Tank goes down, gets us around on these Marines. There's that Ultra Cavern that we did mention, so it is going to be we're just going Lingbane, rushing into Ultras. SCVs are going down. And Nicoract, he keeps pushing. But there's Lingbane waiting for him. I don't think he can really push any further. The double drop, though. Takes down the Lings, gets 7 drones, gets a Queen as well, but that's 17 SCVs going down. I don't know if this is worth it yet. Not yet. Not yet for Nicoract. He needs more. He needs to get more damage. Goes to the 5th. Slowly pushing forward. Liberators have arrived. Just no saturation whatsoever here at the 3rd. Oh, he's 8-raxing. Oh, my apologies. Yeah, 3-base all in. Nicoract, he's 8-raxing. There is no 4th base. There is no macro behind this. I thought he was going to do this on Alcyone, if you remember, but he's doing it here on Post Youth. And one way or another, Nicoract, he's going to end the game. Either he kills the YoungYakov or he dies trying. Again, 42 SCVs, barely an economy. 6 Ultras are on the way, though. The Ultras could be enough. I mean, Yakov, he's bought a lot of time. Yeah, the Ultras, they now pop out. Now, the Ultras, they only have +2. They do not have kindness plating. They do not have 3-3. So the Ultras are a little bit squishy. And then this goes down. The Ultras are revealed. And Yakov, he's going for it. He's going to collapse in. From the south, from the front as well. The Ultras, they make it just in time. And it looks like Yakov, he will clean this up. It was a good effort. GG gets called. YoungYakov, he survives the 8-racks. He shuts it down, and he will advance on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. YoungYakov, he will make it in the end. Again, it was risky, very risky of YoungYakov to rush into Ultras like that, but he bought a lot of time. He was going for these Ling run-bys, Ling counterattacks. He was delaying Nicoract's push. Nicoract, he was on a timer. Once again, Nicoract, he was going for a 3-base all-in. He had nothing else behind it. He had no 4th base, no other kind of tech of choice or anything like that. No economy, clearly. It was all or nothing, and alas, YoungYakov, he bought enough time for the Ultras, and we saw how heavily the Ultras shut it down, just because there's no Marauders and there's no Ghosts. It's just purely Tank, Liberator, Marine, and mainly Marine. And Marines, they're not ideal against Ultras, clearly. With that, GG, well played. Congratulations. My condolences to Nicoract. He played well to make it this far, especially when it came to Game 1 to gain momentum in the series. But alas, YoungYakov did prove to be a little bit too much, did overwhelm, and does advance on to the finals. GG. GG, well played. And let's have a look at that bracket, a bracket that we have not looked at the entire broadcast. Oh boy, we have a lot to go over here.